Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Forgot to Row podcast. Welcome to our American Gods Season 2 Episode 1 Thoughts video. Just finished watching the first episode of the second season of American Gods, which just premiered last night or earlier today. This episode is called House on the Rock, and we see, following the events of the dramatic showdown at Easter's party, Mr. Wednesday continues his quest to pitch the case for war to the old gods, with Shadow, Laura, and Mad Sweeney in tow. Meanwhile, Mr. World plans his revenge, and Technical Boy goes on the hunt for media. So yeah, I just finished watching this episode, and I'm so happy American Gods is back. And this episode was exactly what I was hoping they were going to do, which is just throw a bunch of gods at us right away. We get a whole room full of old gods right off the bat in this episode. They don't name all of them, but we get a few new ones introduced, and I love that. A bunch of them get, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this episode, I'm going to be spoiling this whole episode while I share my thoughts, my favorite moments from this episode. But spoiler alert, some of them die at the end, which is okay. None of the important ones do, or important ones, but I just love that we're getting right into this old god, new god war just straight off the bat in this season. Last season it ramped up and it ended with the war kind of starting to kick off, but this one puts it on, like, takes it even further, especially with Mr. World setting out to attacking the old gods, and with Odin trying to recruit all the old gods and them kind of being hesitant, not believing there's going to be a warhead, and then them getting attacked by Mr. World, which I thought was a little bit coincidental. I was like, Mr. Wednesday, you are a con man. Did you shoot your old god friends just to convince them that this... But at the same time, Shadow got kidnapped at the exact same time, so it's hard to say. It wouldn't surprise me if Mr. Wednesday had something to do with that, but nonetheless, we lose one of my favorite. One person did die actually at the end. That's very important. I can't believe I forgot. I just finished watching this, but it's one of the sisters that actually did take a bullet, which is very sad. She was great. And so that was one of the deaths that's a little unfortunate. I would have liked to have her character stick around a little longer, but it also makes sense to give the motivation to the old gods to, fight the new gods. So that was interesting. I loved the whole scene with the carousel, them going on to it. It looked like some kind of shrine to the old gods. It looked like some kind, like, different iconology and symbols of their different religions and that represent each of them. So I just think that had, like, that's what that was implying, at least what it seemed to imply and looked like. And then they get on the carousel and I guess go into Wednesday's mind, which I'm just down for. That's cool. I don't know how that works metaphysically at all, but I'm down for it. That's the kind of stuff I want. Give me more. I can't believe I had to wait a whole week for another episode, but them's the breaks. But yeah, some other things. What else did I like? I like that we didn't get a lot with the new gods, Mr. World. We just see a little bit with him. He seems to be planning some kind of thing. Him and Technical Boy right at the beginning of the episode have a little argument about, Technical Boy wants to just go attack all the old gods right away, and Mr. World has a little bit more foresight and be like, no, we need to be prepared. We need to be ready. We can't be on an uneven foot when we're going about this. So I like that he's going to be planning some stuff out, taking his time as the new gods, and then it gives the old gods some time to rally. So I'm just so excited for this season to go on. They introduced some kind of weird thing called Blackbriar. I don't know what that was. It confused me a little bit why Mr. World was there, and he at one point types a message to a Mr. Town, and I'm like, is Mr. Town your boss, or is that your subordinate? Is Mr. World technically, because the world is bigger, yes, but towns, people tend to maybe have more belief in their towns than in the world. I don't know. It's hard to say. But there was a Mr. Town. I saw that. That was a typey thing. I saw that. I was curious who the guy in the Blackbriar place was. I was like, who are you? Are you going to... No, we're not going to... Is he just the guy who stays there? I'm a little confused by that. Yeah, some of the other things I like that we get all the old gods just having some diner food up near the end. Doesn't end too well for them, but I enjoyed that kind of the idea that, we come from seeing all these old gods in this, in Odin's head as all these all powerful, as what their, their true selves are, and then we go to the diner and we see that they're just a bunch of Americans having diner food, but at the same time, it's just that kind of that contrast there that you can even see it in Shadow's, disbelief of how, like, these old gods don't want to do a little bit more to, save themselves in a sense, or to better themselves in a way. But yeah, overall, I just really dug this episode. Just having the new gods introduced, getting a little bit more of a story about why Shadow's important. I'm starting to see the reasons. I'm like, okay, the one other goddess, I forget her name now, the goddess of love, she was showing a particular interest in Shadow, and I don't know if that was just because Mr. World was kidnapping him at the end. It seems like there's something more at play. I'm very curious to find out what's so special about him. Laura's still hanging around. She's kind of, she's still there. She did not much happen in this episode with her. Same with Sweeney. But yeah, so that's all my thoughts for this episode. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what you thought of this first episode of the second season of American Gods. If you liked it, if you didn't, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And have a good one.